Hello everyone. In this video we will be solving exercise 7.11 using some properties of definite integrals. So before we solve the questions from exercise 7.11, so there are 7 properties of the definite integrals which is very useful in solving definite integrals. So this is our first property. So lower limit a, upper limit b. So if we interchange the lower limit and upper limit, then there will be minus sign in front of the integrand. Second property is this. So integration from a to b, lower limit is a, upper limit is b. So that we can split taking some value c, which is in between a and b, and we can write integration from a to c fx dx plus integration from c to b fx dx. So if you add these two, then you will get the same value. The same value you will get directly by integrating from a to b. Now the third property is integration from a to b fx dx. It can be written as keeping the lower limit and upper limit same. Within the function, we replace x by sum of lower limit and upper limit minus x. So this makes no difference. This property number 4 is same as property number 3, where the lower limit is 0 here. So if lower limit is 0, then upper limit is a, then here it will be 0 plus a, which is a. This is same as property number 3. And the fifth property here is integration from 0 to 2a fx dx equals to from integration 0 to a fx dx plus integration from 0 to a f of 2a minus x dx. So here we slightly modify the upper limit. So it can be done like this. So both left hand side and right hand side will give the same result if integrated separately. Now this is our sixth property. In the function, if the variable x is replaced by upper limit minus x, then if after simplification the function remains as it is, then we call it even function. For this even function we can use this if it is of this form. This is for even function, and if the function is odd, replacing x by 2a minus x, then if it is minus fx, then we can directly write 0. Now this is our seventh property. In the function, replacing x by minus x, if the function remains as it is, then we can use this property. And replacing x by minus x in the function, if it will be minus fx, then the integration will directly keep 0. So using this property, we don't have to integrate. Ultimately, the answer will be 0. These sixth and seventh properties are very useful in evaluating definite integrals. From exercise 7.11, altogether there are almost 18 or 19 questions. So I have listed here which property is used. So except question number 5 and 6, in all the questions from 1 to 9, property number 4 is used. This question number 1, 2, 3 and 4, they are of same type. We do in the same way. And this question number 5 and question number 6, they are of similar type. And this question number 7, 8 and 9, they are also same type. So I am doing question number 2, question number 5 and question number 7 in this video. Now let me solve question number 2. So at first we represent this by I. So let I equals to integration from 0 to pi by 2 root over sin x divided by root over sin x plus root over cos x dx, and let this be equation number 1. So here, as I have already told you, fourth property of the definite integral we are going to use in this question. So this is the fourth property. A is our upper limit. So instead of a, here we have pi by 2. then this equation 1 will get modified as, in this function, wherever there is x, we replace by pi by 2 minus x. So here is pi by 2 minus x, pi by 2 minus x, pi by 2 minus x. Then there is one formula in trigonometry, which is sine 90 degree minus theta is cos theta, and cos 90 degree minus theta is sin theta. So this pi by 2 is 90 degree. We use that formula here. This integrand will modify as integration from 0 to pi by 2 under root cos x upon under root cos x plus under root sin x. So this is our equation number 2. So just compare equation number 1 and 2. The denominator is almost same. Here under root sin x plus under root cos x. Here under root cos x plus under root sin x. So both are same. And the numerator here is under root sin x, but here we have under root cos x. So if we add this equation number 1 and 2, the numerator after adding and the denominator after adding will be same, and that will get cancelled off, and the integration will be just modified as integration from 0 to pi by 2, and it will be 1 dx. Then it will be very easy for us to evaluate. Now adding equation number 1 and 2. So in the left hand side it is I plus I, which is 2i, which equals to, so this is the part from equation number 1, and this is the part of the function from equation number 2. So here we do the LCM. Denominator is same, so it will remain as it is, and in the numerator it will be sin x plus under root cos x. So this both will get cancelled, and it will be integration from 0 to pi by 2 1 dx. So as you know that the integration of dx is x, lower limit is 0, upper limit is pi by 2. Then we put upper limit and lower limit. This 2 will go to the denominator and multiply with this 2. So 2 into 2 is 4, and this pi in the numerator. Then we get I equals to pi by 4. So this is our value of integration. So using the property, it is very easy for us to evaluate the definite integrals. So most of the question in the board exam will come from this section. Using the property, we have to evaluate the definite integrals. Now let me solve question number 5. So in this question, we are going to use the second property of definite integrals. So first, let this be denoted by I. Now here, in order to use the second property, we first equate this function to 0. We'll get x equals to minus 2 if it lies between the lower limit and the upper limit range. Then we can use the property number 2. So here, minus 2 lies between minus 5 and plus 5. So this is the property. So our lower limit is a, upper limit is b, minus 5 and 5. And here, the limit from the middle, c, is this minus 2. So this c, which is the upper limit of the first integrand and lower limit of the second integrand, we get from equating the function to 0. Then using this property, this can be rewritten as integration from minus 5 to minus 2. Then here we put minus, because for all the values of x between minus 5 and minus 2, this function will be less than 0. Then due to this reason, we put minus in front. Then plus, and our lower limit is here minus 2 to 5, x plus 2. So this will remain positive because for all the values of x which lies between minus 2 and 5, this function will be positive. Then we integrate. Integration of x is x square by 2. Integration of 2 dx is 2x, and similarly here only the lower limit and upper limit will be different. Then we put the lower limit and upper limit. So here we have put the upper limit minus, and then here we have put the lower limit for this first part, and for the second part here we have put the upper limit, and here we have put the lower limit. So this is the same step. Now we simplify. So here after simplification we get 4 by 2 minus 4, and from here we will get 25 by 2 minus 10, this plus sign, and from here we get 25 by 2 plus 10 minus, from here we will get 4 by 2 minus 4. Then for the simplification we will get this, which is very simple, and at last we get answer 29. So this 29 is the answer for question number 5, where we have used property number 2. Now here, let me solve question number 7. So this question number 7, because of this power n, it is very difficult for us to integrate directly. If there is 2 or 3, then we might have used the formula a minus b whole square and a minus b whole cube formula, but it is n. Let us see how, by using the property of the definite integral, it makes us very simpler to integrate this question. So first let us represent this question by I, and then the property that we are going to use here is the fourth property. And using this fourth property, now we have to replace this both x by upper limit minus x. So our upper limit is 1, so 1 minus x. So here also we have to replace this x by 1 minus x. Here also we have to replace this x by 1 minus x. So after replacing, this integrand will be modified as integration from 0 to 1, 1 minus x within bracket 1 minus x whole to the power n. Now here we simplify. This will be 1 minus 1 plus x. So which is just simply x to the power n. Now we multiply with x to the power n to both the terms within the bracket. X to the power n into 1 is x to the power n minus x to the power n into x is x to the power n plus 1. So now we can integrate using the formula. So integration of x to the power n is x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. And integration of x to the power n plus 1 is x to the power n plus 2 by n plus 2. Lower limit is 0, upper limit is 1. Now here we put the upper limit and lower limit. Upper limit is 1, so 1 to the power n plus 1 is 1 divided by n plus 1. Then our lower limit is 0, so 0 to the power n plus 1 is 0. 0 divided by n plus 1 is also 0. Then this minus sign. In the second term also we put the upper limit and lower limit, and we get similarly 1 by n plus 2 minus 0. Then removing this 0, and after simplifying we get 1 by 1 upon n plus 1 into n plus 2. So this is our answer for question number 7. So using the property of definite integral, it's very easy for us to integrate the function.